Okie dokie, we are here, winter 2022. We made it. I'm Dr. Stephen Hopkins. I'll be your teacher for English 150. Welcome to BYU-Idaho if this is your first semester. All right, so I've got some notes here about what I'm going to go over about this class, just to introduce you. The first thing that you should know is that I'm going to have a progress bar here, which will tell you when I'm done talking about the thing that I'm talking about and what I'm talking about right now. So if you need to skip around in the video, you can do that. Another just YouTube tip, if you hold down Shift and you push the period button, you can press it up to 4 times and it will speed me up. And if you push Shift and comma, you can slow it back down. So if you'd rather watch this faster than I can talk in regular life, then go ahead and try that out. All right, okay, so this is English 150, and I'm your teacher. The main purpose of this class is to build your confidence in your writing skills and to help you the next time, or for the rest of your life, as you get new writing assignments, to be able to kind of attack them with confidence and know what your teacher or your boss or whoever is expecting of you and how to execute it with confidence. That's the whole reason for this class. That's what I'm trying to get you, where I'm trying to get you. And the way we're going to get there is, as often as possible, I'm going to have you write something, and then you are going to, in one way or another, show that writing to an audience who you're going to see react to it, and then you are going to figure out how to make that writing better, how to make better writing based on what that reaction is. Okay, so that's how we're going to get there, and that's what we're going to do over and over and over. Okay, so nuts and bolts for this class. I have 2 sections of this class. That means I teach a class at 9 a.m. and a class at 10:15 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're all going to meet in Smith 263, which is the computer lab. It's a computer lab. So you can bring laptops to class if you want, but there's also just going to be computers available that you can sign into in the class. So I basically only use Canvas to run my class, to communicate, to do everything. I run pretty much a paperless classroom. There's only going to be a very few times that we use paper. So you'll turn everything in digitally. We'll do everything in class digitally. So bringing your phone to class and thinking that that's going to work isn't gonna cut it. So either bring a laptop or use the computers in the classroom, and also check Canvas regularly, because that's what I use. There's an app called, I think it's called Student, but if you just look up Canvas in your app store, you can connect to that and keep track of stuff on your phone. Okay, most of the readings we're going to do are going to happen online. You do have one book you need to buy. Let me go get that. So the book is called The Mad Scientist's Guide to Composition. It looks like this. The author is Weinstock. So when you go to look for it in the bookstore, Weinstock. And you'll need to get that pretty soon, because we've got readings from it coming up pretty soon here. So by that, everything else we read is just going to be on Canvas. Okay, what else? I do have a TA. Her name is Callie, and she's awesome. So she will be available for office hours for you to come and get help from her. I'll announce when that is as soon as we figure that out. And then, okay, what I'm giving you here is an intro video just to make learning about my class as easy as possible, but there is going to be a syllabus, and there's lots of great stuff in that syllabus, so read all the way through that. There's an extra credit opportunity in there if that's something that you're going to be interested in at some point in the semester. So make sure you read the rest of the syllabus and on top of watching this video. Okay, attendance for my class. Attendance is a big deal. I want you in class. We went through a whole year of COVID where we did class online, and we all learned that that's not super great, and we're not, we don't love class online. So be here. It's more fun if you're in class. There are 2 activities we'll be doing in class that are worth points, and if you're not there for those, then you won't get the points. Okay, as far as Zoom goes, I can do Zoom in class. I'll turn it on and you can listen in while we're doing it, but it is only for people who are actively have COVID or are quarantining because they have been exposed or something like that. The reason for the Zoom link is I don't want you coming to class if you are contagious and going to get the rest of us sick. Use it for that purpose. Otherwise, I'm not going to have Zoom available for students in that way. Let's see, what else? Okay, so my class is set up, I feel like, so that it's pretty much impossible to just make everything up all at the end of the semester. If you're not coming in consistently, it's hard to get a good grade in my class. I had a student describe my class as the most challenging, easy class that he's ever taken. So I kind of think that's a great way to describe my class. If you show up and turn in your work, you're going to do great grade-wise. The people who fail my class do so because they don't turn things in and because they're not coming to class. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's talk about the major assignments for my class. There's 3 main essays that you'll be writing, and for each of them, the way I've got it set up is you'll turn in a first attempt of it. So you'll write the essay as if you're, turning it in. But then I will give you video feedback. I'll record myself reading your paper and tell you what you need to fix about it. And then you'll turn in the final attempt, and then the final attempt is the one that I'm going to grade. You'll get a grade, a completion grade for turning in the first and final attempt. So even if you do the whole thing and it's the worst thing that's ever written, you get a C for the paper anyway, just for completing it. And then after that, I give you points based on how well I think you did on the paper. So that's going to happen for all 3 of the major essays that we have for class. So the first one is a personal narrative. So that means a story that you tell about your life. The way it's going to work is there's this personality test called the 4 Tendencies quiz. You'll learn more about that as we go along. And you'll take that quiz, find out what category you get placed in, and then it's your job to tell a personal narrative, a story from your life, in which you tell us if you agree or disagree with what the quiz told you. Are you this kind of a person, or are you not this kind of a person? So that's the first essay. That's the personal narrative. The second one I've called Everyone's Opinion But Yours. Essay. And that's just to get across the idea that what we're going to do is we're going to have a whole collection of readings about superhero movies. That's going to be kind of the topic that we're kind of swimming in for a little bit. And what we're going to do is figure out what these sources are saying about superhero movies in terms of their cultural relevance, their connections to violence, their connections to pop culture, what we're supposed to learn about ourselves because of these superhero movies, stuff like that. And you'll have your choice to choose from these sources. And what it's your job to do is to report on, here's what the conversation about superheroes sounds like in academic circles. But it's never your job during this essay to give your opinion on superhero movies. So I picked something that a lot of people have opinions on just to test this idea of how can I get across information without it being my personal take on the information, so that we can separate out those skills and think about them very consciously as we move through the essay. So there's that one. The third one is called the Change Something Up research paper. So for this one, you'll have to generate an experience in your life. So what you're going to do is change something about your life for 2 weeks, 14 days. So that could be giving up something, that could be starting something, that could be doing something that you do in a completely different way. For 2 weeks, you'll take notes on that experience. You'll also do some outside research on, the context of that situation, what science has found about that kind of a thing. And so you'll have this experience and you'll write an essay about it. We'll write it in a kind of science writing format. We'll talk about that. And that's the third essay. It's called the Change Something Up essay. So be thinking right now about some things that you could do. I usually do it with the students every semester. Hopefully I can do it again this semester. Things that people typically do are things like not use headphones for 2 weeks, try to not spend money for 2 weeks, try to be vegetarian for 2 weeks, start a new hobby for 2 weeks. A lot of people get a lot out of trying to do a social media fast for 2 weeks or giving up caffeine for 2 weeks, things like that. So start thinking in your mind about what kind of a thing you could do for that project later on in the semester. You do have 2 reflection essays at the end of the semester, and those are kind of things that you'll have to do. But those will make sense when we get to them. And now, as for minor assignments, there's some things that kind of happen throughout the semester. Well, the first thing is you'll notice that you already have an assignment due before the semester starts. These resilience predictions that I ask you to do. So what I want you to do is kind of take a look at your life and think of what are some of the things that are probably going to get in your way this semester that are going to be hard for you to overcome, and think about what are some solutions to overcome those solutions. And then towards the end of the semester, we'll look back on that and use it as a reflective tool and stuff like that. So there's that. There's readings throughout the semester, both in the Mad Scientist Guide to Composition book and just some other readings that I'm going to give you through the course of the semester. So you'll read those and you'll write written responses on Canvas for those. We do a thing called email etiquette scenarios. So we'll do 4 of these throughout the course of the semester, where I'm going to give you kind of like an awkward, sometimes embarrassing situation that's happening, usually in a work environment, and you're going to have to pretend to be that person in this situation and write an email to address this situation. So writing difficult emails, and then what I'm going to do is I'll make some video feedback for those and say, here's what I think you guys are doing good and what I think you could work on and how to handle these situations through email, so that we can build up like how to communicate through email, because it's a really important genre we need to learn and know. Okay. Every 2 weeks, we're going to do a thing called quote integration practice, and what that will be is kind of like the shooting free throws of writing, where we just practice this skill that we do a lot. Where I'll put a passage up on the board. You'll have to read through the passage, choose a quote from the passage, and then respond to that passage by integrating the quote into your words. It'll make sense when we do it, but we'll practice that, I think, 6 times throughout the semester. And then the last thing we're going to do every 2 weeks is called Vote with Your Body. This is usually one of the favorite things that students do throughout the course of the semester, where what we'll have a statement up on the board. The statement can be something like, the Beatles were the best band to ever exist, or something like that. And then the statement will be up there, and then one side of the room will be agree, the other side of the room will be disagree, and you get to stand where you are. Do you kind of agree? Are you neutral about it? Do you 100% agree that, yes, the Beatles were the best, or whatever? And then from there, I'll just start calling on people, and we'll have a discussion. Why are you standing where you're standing? And then so that's it. It's basically a way to have discussions. But it will be your job throughout the semester to choose the statement that goes up on the board, and then we'll have a discussion based on this statement that you've put forth. So that happens throughout the semester. It's usually a pretty good experience. And that's it. Those are all of the assignments that we're going to do. I guess there's one more. Sometimes I'll have you see some student examples of papers, and you'll read those. But yeah, that's mainly everything that we're doing over the course of the semester. And so I'll be your teacher. I'm Dr. Hopkins. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I asked my wife what she thought I should put into this video, and she said that I should tell you guys that she's amazing. So there you go. You need to know that too, according to my wife. So that's it. Welcome to this semester, and I hope we have a good one.